Donk Nation, Jax and Janet's greetings and welcome to your Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, only joined by Gingy this week, but it's a happy Gingy. He stayed up late, he braved a Sunday night football game to watch. Really a second half beating that turned into, what was it, 37-15 victory for the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Jets. Oh, Gingy, are you ready to go back on Monday night? That's my question.
Mutant Gingy in the house. Dubs. It was beautiful to see. Offense was electrifying in the second half. Yes. Right. Still some rust out there. Rust on rust. You know what though, Donkey? You can't deny that. Watching Aaron Rodgers getting picked off twice.
Washed.
Well, Donkey,
Hot
let's
take.
be honest. Now, one of the washed on what? One of those interceptions was because he threw that ball so clean that the receiver didn't even expect it to get to him. He thread a window, Donkey, on that throw, and he ended up giving an interception on it because I think the throw was too good.
He can still make a few pretty throws, but he's the type of dude who's commanding a buttload of salary, and he's the type of dude who just. Let's be honest here.
MVP.
Do you think that Jets team, which by the way started off with a better record without him last year, is better with him this year?
And what? Zach Wilson? Yeah.
I'm just saying, record-wise, this team is very similar. This guy is costing them a bunch of money, cost them their head coach, makes them trade a bunch of future capital to go get Devontae Adams, and this team. Gingy, I went in there and I was like, man, this is an Aaron Rodgers team with some good wide receivers. This is the type of team you should be scared of. I watched that game, went back and watched the previous 3 Jets games, and my only thought is they're just not a good football team. Like, objectively, that team is just bad.
Yeah.
They could turn it around, but that team this is now a pretty good sample size, 7 weeks, right? Through 7 weeks, that team is bad.
2-5. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the AFC East, that's probably where, if you're going to get any wild card teams coming, right? Because the Buffalo is so far in front there. And where else do you got teams in second place that are really competing in their division?
To be fair, the Dolphins should get Tua back, and that team was pretty good with Tua, so we'll see what's going on there.
So probably one from the AFC East and one from the AFC North, most likely. Them other divisions ain't
no
cutting
love
it
for
on
the
second
Chargers
place.
Or Broncos? No love for the Chargers or Broncos?
You that Broncos for the Chargers and Broncos?
Hold on. That Broncos team is playing a last place schedule, and they're currently 4-3. That is a team that very capable of beating those bad teams, and if they just beat the bad teams remaining on their schedules, not even the good ones, the bad ones, they end up with 9 wins, and that's just beating the bad teams.
Okay, yeah, I can see that as a plausible outcome for sure, right? And I got Denver as my fantasy defense, and they scored me 21 last week, so that's all I care about it. That's all I care about. So you're right on that. We'll give them a shot. We're not even halfway through yet, right? Not even halfway through.
And I think the Chargers are a legit contender too. Don't sleep on them quite yet.
You like on Harbaugh
dude?
There? Yeah,
Harbaugh's
you got that
win.
Harbaugh I love, don't you?
Both those Harbaughs, all they do is win, dude. Look what happened to Michigan after Harbaugh leaves. That dude is. You know how people say Mike Tomlin's that dude who gets you to run through a wall? I think both Harbaughs also fit in that category, fair or not. They get players to run through walls for them.
You're looking at 41 from the Ravens last week. Yeah, there were some walls run through. I hear that. But what about what else we got to the Steelers?
No, dude, the walls ran away from Derrick Henry. They did not let him run through them. The walls ran away from Derrick Henry, let's be honest.
I would. I would if I was out there. I don't think I'd run towards it. That's like running towards a freaking tornado storm.
Gingy ain't no Bobby Splain, all right?
Listen, I'm more like the water boy.
He values
Bobby
life.
Splain, all right? Yeah, I do. Self-preservation in that situation. There could be a long-term injury by getting hit by that bus.
But I'm very curious, Gingy. You say even if it's 2 wild cards come from the AFC North, right? So you say Cincinnati catches heat and stays hot. Pittsburgh stays where they are. I would say if you're looking at the most likely spot to get the other wild card, obviously the AFC South is going to have probably I would think one of the teams in there get it going a little bit outside of Houston, right? I think Indy or Jacksonville is due to get on a run here. So there's another team you probably could talk about. I think if Indy goes to Joe Flacco, they win 9 games, honestly. If Indy changes to Joe Flacco, I think they might win 9 games.
They're not doing that. They're not doing that.
And you have to look at the AFC.
Necessary.
Honestly, you have to think 9 wins is going to be good enough this year based off the start from a bunch of teams we expected to be good. I mean, Miami's already racked up a bunch of L's. Jacksonville has a ridiculous amount of L's going. Who else is out there? The Chargers have probably more losses than you expect at this point. Vegas, if you expected them to be good, they've been terrible. The Jets have been pretty god-awful. Miami's been bad. New England is what we thought they were. The Browns might be the worst team in football not named Carolina.
Yeah, I'll go there.
So when we're talking, if we want to talk early wild card predictions, I'm curious, Gingy. To me, the number's 9 this year in the AFC. 9 wins, and I think you have a dang good shot.
9 wins, and you're in the hunt. I don't think that gets you 5. I think 10 wins get you that 6 seed. Yeah, okay. 9 wins, and there'll be a few teams there. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, 7 seed.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. This is a year where the AFC might be actually a little bit on the downtrodden. But let's get back into the Jets game. Russell Wilson looks really bad at the beginning. Makes a few, I'd say a couple good deep throws, and then a couple deep throws that, thank God, they were backups or people not paying attention, like a ball hitting someone in the back of the head and going for a 20-yard catch. That's really good to see. A little bit of aggressive running from Najee was good to see. But if I see Najee Harris run outside the tackles one more time on a frickin' toss play, Gingy, I might go and just toss Arthur Smith into the Allegheny.
He does it. He does it all the time, too. He had one that he broke off where he had a good little wiggle, a good little shake in there that wasn't whole on head speed. But I still don't think that that's his wheelhouse.
No, dude, his longest toss play in the game was 3 yards, and it actually turned into -10 because I think Dan Moore Jr. held.
Yes, I remember that. That is how it went. Dan Moore Jr.
Oh, it's Firemouth. Sorry, I yelled at the wrong guy. It was a Firemouth holding.
There was still a Dan Moore Jr. hold in there. I don't think he played his greatest game of the season. That's my really worry about having Russell Wilson back there at quarterback. What I saw from Russell Wilson was the ability to open up the field. He's confident enough and skilled enough with the arm to still get it there. But at the same time, he is much, much slower than Justin Fields. He has lost a step. He continues to lose steps in that speed. I'm not knocking his arm talent, but he doesn't have the ability to get outside the pocket and make those happen like he used to.
You have to protect him, that's for sure. Honest question for you. Why do the Steelers always do this? They put in a veteran quarterback, and they open up the playbook and let the veteran throw the ball deep, while a guy like Justin Fields is pigeonholed into playing check down football. Is it just these vets are going to throw the deep ball no matter what because they don't care? Or is the game plan really that different in quarterbacks? Because the way we were attacking and making the throws, we did not design and have those type of throws in any game for Justin Fields outside of the second half of the Colts game where we almost made a comeback and actually let him throw the ball. Outside of that, Justin Fields never had these plays called that were called for us.
I don't think that Justin Fields has the consistency with reading the defense in the way that he needs to do. Every time that one of those big throws was made, if you were looking at it from above, you could see it was there. The Jets defense played so tight and so close for that whole game. When the one-on-ones were available, Russ picked them out, and I don't know if Justin Fields has the ability to do that on a consistent basis.
That's a fair look at it, and that is a good view on it. The defense, these slow starts have now happened so much. It's a big problem for me. That second half shutout was great. The Jets did more damage to themselves than we could. Beanie Bishop finally has himself a game. I love to see it, man. He's been struggling so hard seeing that game. But this is another game, a slow start from the defense against a bad team, and no pass rush at all to speak of. These are starting to become areas of concern. I know it was a blowout win, but that doesn't mean there isn't areas we need to talk about that were poor, right? Like the tackling was good this game. The secondary play was pretty good, especially the second half. Causing splash plays is huge. But those two concerns, Gingy.
Tackling was abysmal on that one play. The Jets broke a big one. Oh, that little dump off, little check down to the running back over the middle, and we had a little three-stooge action.
Hall has the ability to make people look silly. You are right on that one.
Man, that one looked. I think I saw like 3 missed tackles just on that one play, and it was cringy. But overall, yeah, I don't want to see them give up the big one. That's what the Steelers can't do, right? We criticize them so much. Oh, we're gonna get death by 1,000 cuts, going to get picked over the middle. Check. Okay, the Steelers end up doing all right with that. They do a lot better than if they miss 3 tackles, give up that chunk play, give up points. Can't let that happen. But overall, you're right about the pass rush. What was it? 1 sack from Ogunjobi? P.J. Watt pretty much neutralized.
It was a coverage sack at that. It wasn't like we beat them off the line. It was Aaron Rodgers held the ball for 3.5 seconds.
Yeah, you're right. You're right on that too. For sure. TJ Watt was getting nicked and doubled pretty much on a regular basis, but that can't be the solution to stop the Steelers' whole pass rush. I'm hoping that Alex Highsmith
did nothing.
He didn't do nothing on the pass rush. He held the edge a couple times better than he usually does. But at the same time, yeah, I would like to see more pass rush from the other side of the line there.
It was another game with a disappearing act from Patrick Queen. And I'm pretty sure on the Breece Hall long pass, by the way, I don't think our tackling was atrocious. It was more Patrick Queen's angle of approach gave him 30 yards because Patrick Queen was the inside leverage guy and missed to the outside. Like, dude, Patrick Queen, you finally had a good game and I praised you, and then you put on this Jets game? Bro, you gotta be kidding me, right?
Yeah, that's your fault, donkey. Your fault.
Yeah, I was nice to him. How dare I? Patrick Queen's never getting another compliment. My God. That dude drives me. That dude drives me.
It hasn't been the acquisition we wanted it to be. It's a big purchase at inside line, and it has not. We always talk about what? Performance, equivalent to the salary and the hit on the salary cap, and that's how you make the team work. And thus far, the performance on that end has not met
when you have PFF's, what is he, 48th out of 52 rated middle linebacker getting paid as the 4th highest paid middle linebacker, that stuff just don't cut it, dude.
I'm not putting all my bank on PFF either. I'll let my eyes do the test.
We can do the eye test. The eye test. Where would you rate Patrick Queen in middle linebackers?
52
he's the third
best on the Steelers right now. 48 is generous from PFF, in my opinion. That's what I'm saying.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying.
Because he's the 3rd best middle linebacker on the Steelers. If it wasn't for the fact that he's the dude in charge of calling the plays, I don't think he would even be on the field.
You see what I'm saying? Like I'm using the eye test, and the eye test hasn't really agreed with me thus far.
No, dude, that dude's having terrible performances. Defensive line did a good job in holding the run game, let's be honest there. Played pretty well against the run, didn't let that take over the game, but the Jets don't want to run the ball. They traded for all these high-powered wide receivers to let Aaron Rodgers do Aaron Rodgers things. And luckily for us, those were interceptions, the one off Garrett Wilson's face, and then the other one where Beanie Bishop's turns in the middle and makes a nice interception on the ball. Really game-changing plays, both from Beanie Bishop, a guy who I loved him as an undrafted rookie coming in, really struggled, really played great these last few games. Here's a question for you, Gingy. Cam Sutton's suspension's about to be up. Do the Steelers even dare to mess with what Beanie Bishop is giving them right now?
Got to still find him a way to get him into the equation. He's played his way on. That's not going to happen, though. Cam Sutton's going to be in there at first opportunity.
Yeah, veterans always win in Pittsburgh. Russ Wilson, less than 60% completion, hit a few deep balls, threw a few balls that were highly suspect. First game back, I would call it a good game. Didn't hit the turnovers. Sometimes being lucky is a big part of being good. Doesn't hit the turnovers, hits a few touchdowns, gets a running touchdown in there. Do you expect Russ to really hold this level of performance? Let's call it this level of performance, the 250 multiple scores, no turnovers level of performance. Do you expect to see that repetitively? Do you feel that was a high? Do you feel that was a low, Gingy?
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're talking cash or trash from last week, I about hit that one right on the head, eh?
Yeah. Now we're in Canada. That is the land between us, Gingy, but that doesn't mean we got to speak like them.
How dare you? But we're talking Russ being able to. I think he can. Don't say that I'm a firm believer or whatnot, but based on what I saw so far, where's the opportunity for George Pickens to shine in a 50-50 contested ball? If he can continue to win those balls and not give Russ interceptions off of him, maybe there's a way to be able to be compensated there. Yeah,
that's fair. But when you look forward, do you think any team in their right mind is ever going to leave George Pickens one-on-one with this other ragtag, crappy crew of number 2 wide receivers we have? Like, Roman Wilson's hurt again, so we have no idea if the rookie would have been the answer because he's hurt again because the dude just can't stay healthy, it seems. Again, Calvin Austin had one catch for like 30 yards. I think, he had like a little spark play, but no consistency. Van Jefferson was 2 for 16, but he caught a touchdown finally. Congratulations, Van Jefferson. Someone put one in the end zone. The Steelers, another wide receiver moves. Kansas City acquires DeAndre Hopkins. There's not a whole lot of names left on there for the Steelers to get if they want to improve this passing game.
Cooper Kupp.
Is he worth a second rounder? That's the real question.
Third rounder, maybe. Third rounder, fourth rounder, maybe. Second rounder, what?
That's what the Rams are asking, and I honestly think Tampa Bay might be willing to give it after losing their 2-star wide receivers and still being in a spot to compete.
Yeah, they're desperate. They should be. They might give up a 2 for him. I don't want to give up a 2 for him, but they might.
Me neither, and I'm not sure. Man, this is where it's hard. The fact that the Steelers put themselves in this predicament, you feel like and I really want to get on the hype train, man, but I've done it so many times in the past 5 years to just realize this team is what it is, and I still feel like this team is what it is, especially when you look at this, and a good team is just going to game plan to do 2 things. Not let Freiermuth catch a ball over the middle and not let Pickens get a one-on-one on the outside. And if you take those 2 things away, what is the Steelers' passing game?
Not much else besides that, but let's hope it evolves this Monday night.
Let's hope it evolves with Russ cooking with these, let's call him making meat stew with a bunch of vegetables. I guess that's the way I'll phrase it. Let's hope that Russ has the capability of doing that, right?
What the meat stew?
With a bunch of vegetables, because the ingredients he has does not equate to what you need them to be, is what I'm saying.
Are you calling these boys baby carrots?
No, but I like it. We can go with that.
I don't know about you, Donkey. You're sus this week. After a big dub, you're acting really sus.
Nah, dude, first off, I just gave Russ a huge compliment is what I was saying. What I was saying out here is the Steelers don't have the ingredients to have a good passing game due to the lack of depth at wide receiver. But Russ made it work. Can Russ keep that going and keep that momentum going and keep making the meat stew with the vegetables? That's what I'm asking.
Really hating on Van Jefferson caught a tut. Really hating on Calvin Austin coming up and comer.
Van Jefferson, has he broke 100 yards on the season yet through 7 weeks?
Has he broke 50 yards yet? I don't know. We'll see.
That's what I'm saying. It's not like I'm calling people out here who have had, production. We're going to go play the worst offense in the NFL, and they have 3 receivers, 3 of them with over 300 yards receiving each, dude. The Steelers
they still don't got it.
What?
They don't got it. What, neighbors? You're talking about
First
Mr.
off,
Rogers'
Malik
neighbors?
Nabers is a freaking monster. Don't trash talk him right before we play him, please.
I don't know. Danny Dimes, baby. Let's go. We gotta get that. We're gonna get that pass rush hopping. We're gonna get that pass rush hopping this week.
To answer the question, Van Jefferson has 77 yards receiving as of this point.
Well, there you go.
11 yards a game, man. He is killing it. I believe there's probably like 8 wide receivers in the NFL this year who have more yards on a catch than he has on the season. Probably not true, but it gets to it. Gingy, I was actually... That second half performance really has me excited. It really makes me want to jump on the hype train. I want to push the brakes a little bit, though, because I'm like, that's another bad team that we put it to. And to be fair, here's another bad team we get the chance to put it to on Monday night. Do you have any closing thoughts on what you saw there being in person from the Jets game?
I think I gave it all. But again, I'm going to reemphasize that the Jets played a really stacked up, tight defense against us, almost daring us to throw those deep balls, right? Mm-hmm. If other teams are scheming different and have a preparation for that, then we're going to have to continue to see what I have said last week and the week before. The consistency has to remain up front. When the passing game, I think the passing game stays as long as the upfront production from Najee Harris stays. As you see Najee have back-to-back 100-yard games, commanding 100-yard games, you see the Steelers score back-to-back 30 points. I don't think that's a coincidence. That's my closing thoughts on that.
This is the week Najee gets to show he can do it against a good defense, because let's be honest, the Raiders' defense without Wilkinson in the middle is not very good. That dude is the heart and soul of the run-stopping part, where Max Crosby is the heart and soul of that defense. The Jets, man, I think they ran out of players to play in the secondary, so at the end they were trying to defend those guys and not let them be exposed. But let's move on to the Giants here. Did you know the Steelers and the Giants have played, like 79 times or something in the history of the series?
I did happen to see that this week. I think the G-men have a slight edge in the overall, don't they?
Like a 13-game edge. Every year from 1933 to 1969, we played the Giants twice every year. So that's kind of why, there's so many games there. Overall, the Steelers are 31, 44, and 3. At home, the Steelers are 14, 22, and 3. All 3 ties came at Pittsburgh. On the road, they're 17 and 22. The largest win was the Steelers won by 56 points in 1952. That's 63-7. The Giants' biggest win was 35. They did it twice in a 42-7 game and a 35-0 game. Those were from 1935 and 1957. All the records in this thing seem to be really old. The longest streak, the Giants won the first 6 matchups, so that's from 33 to 35. Pittsburgh had a 3-game winning streak twice from 48 to 49 and currently are on a 3-game winning streak starting all the way back in 2012. So think about this. A team we used to play twice a year, we've only played them 3 times in the past 12 years. It'll be 4 times in the past 12 years here coming up. The last time the Steelers played the Giants, it was at New York. It was a 26-16 win in the COVID 2020 season. Gingy, a lot of things to talk about here with the Giants. They only have 1 interception on the year on defense. That's really where their defense struggles. But they do lead the NFL in sacks. This is a team that gets after it. You're talking Dexter Lawrence II has 9 sacks leading the NFL. You also have Brian Burns and Ojabulari, or however the heck you say his name, man. There's too many vowels and consonants that don't mix with me there. They both have 4 sacks. A former Pitt product, cornerback, Jason Pinnock, also has 3 sacks. That lets you know that this team not only gets production out of their front 4 pass rushing guys, but they're willing to bring the blitz. Could that be the shortfall for the Steelers here? So of course, Burns and Lawrence are on the injury report, with Burns not even practicing today. Lawrence was limited in practice. But if that pass rush is healthy, is that going to be the really scary part for the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game, Gingy?
Absolutely. That's one thing that I did see is that Russell Wilson isn't necessarily, not necessarily, he isn't absolutely not as mobile as Justin Fields. He's going to have a tough time if he's under pressure, escaping that pressure, eluding that pressure, making that offense run. Yeah, I think that's an integral part of Monday night coming up.
When you look at the Giants' ranks on defense, somehow with one of the worst offenses in the league, they're currently 12th in points, 12th in yards, 6th in holding teams to pass yards. But maybe this is the silver lining, Gingy. They're only 25th when it comes to rushing yards. Steelers want to be that run-first team. Maybe the Giants play right into our hands in this case.
Here. That sounds like a fine narrative to me, Donkey. Post game.
When you get to their offensive side of the ball, they have a younger running back, and they also have Devin Singletary, a guy who can be shifty and explosive. We've seen that before when he played in Buffalo, had some big games against the Steelers. But they have 3 wide receivers who are worth talking about. All-world rookie Malik Nabers has over 400 yards this year. That dude, you put on his tape, man, he's one of those guys who you go, he could very well be one of those top 10 receivers for a decade type of guys, the way he has started off his young NFL career. Darius Slayton's having a good year this year with over 300 yards. And Wendell Robinson, a little shifty guy that came out of Kentucky a couple years ago, he also has 300 yards playing out of the slot there. The Giants do have a scary set of wide receivers, a decent core in the running backs, but they got Danny Dimes behind center, and that's a $40 million a year mistake the way it's looking.
Yeah, he don't seem to be like the guy not talking about making good decisions. I think he's one of those guys. How have I said it before, Donkey? Rolling right, throwing left. He's going to do it if he can. Right?
The Carson Wentz curse?
Yeah, that one. He feels like he does that to me.
He gets his, I think it's Tunch who used to always say it, he gets paralysis by analysis, right, when he has to read the field.
Yeah. You can't do that versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like pass rush coming back this week. Been missing in action.
That'd be nice.
I found it. It's going to be. We're going to deliver it on Monday night.
Would this stat, when this year started, would this shock you to know that Dexter Lawrence comes into the game and the Steelers are hosting the NFL sack leader, but it's not TJ Watt? As a matter of fact, TJ Watt only has half the number of sacks of Dexter Lawrence. That's probably the most shocking thing to me coming into this game, Gingy.
Wouldn't expect that, but we'll see where they stand after this game, eh?
If TJ gets 3, he
needs
needs 5 sacks to pass him. If he gets 5 sacks, dude, I'm all aboard that train.
He gets 2 or 3, I wouldn't be surprised.
Gingy's Cash or Trash just got changed on defense, by the way, to include TJ Watt leaving the game as the NFL sack leader.
Gonna have to trash that, but we'll see.
It's coming in. That's going to be the question now.
Better bring it on. Shoot. Bring it on, then. Bring it on. Where's the Cash or Trash?
Let's go there. We're going to start on offense like we always do. Gingy, Cash or Trash? Russ Wilson goes over 200 yards, 2+ TDs, and no turnovers again against the Giants.
Cash it in. It's a necessity. Let's see him string it back to back, right? This was Russ with Rust. Russ with Russ.
Let Russ cook.
Let him cook. Dangerous on Monday night. Cash.
All right, number 2, since we don't got anywhere else to go but to you, I guess we'll keep it right here. Najee Harris again breaks 100 yards and scores a touchdown. Cash or Trash?
Boy, I'd love to cash that in, but I don't really have a ton of evidence. Man, will he prove to me to be a consistent delivering back? Cash it in, Donkey. Make 3 a pattern. And make Najee Harris worth picking up again. Make Najee great again.
All right, yeah, I saw who was at the game, but you don't need to campaign.
I didn't
for
say
him
any.
here.
I didn't say anything campaigning. I'm talking about Najee Harris. What are you talking about?
yeah, okay. We're gonna move on here. The Steelers' offensive line is going to have that show-up game, and they're going to hold the league's highest sack total team to under 3 sacks is what we'll call it. Under 3 sacks. Cash or trash?
Under 3 sacks. Let's hope so. I'm going to give you trash.
Aw.
Whoops. I don't think it's good. I mean, what? Did you spend all that time lauding the pass rush to really think that I'm going to think anything different?
Hey, I also tried to point out the 2 of them are hurt, okay?
Okay, sure. What do we got over there?
I was trying to make it look somewhere.
Roderick Jones and Dan Moore Jr. Let's hope that they step up to the plate.
Yeah, don't forget McCollum starting for Zach Frazier still. Zach Frazier still hurt.
That's right.
Side note on this. Did you see that apparently Zach Frazier's ankle injury wasn't as bad as it could have been because he broke his leg last year and has a plate in his leg?
Let's go. I got nothing else to contribute to that. Let's freaking go.
I know, right? All right, we're on to number 4 on the offense. A number 2 receiver doesn't even exist on the Steelers, but the receiver's not named George Pickens will, in fact, have more than 60 receiving yards this week. Cash or trash?
Are you giving me Pat Freiermuth on that?
No, wide receivers, no tight ends. That dude has like 50 yards a game.
You said receivers. He will be receiving the ball. I don't think the others will that much. Cash. Or no, trash. Sorry. Under.
You're
trashing
fine.
that.
All right, last one for the offense, and it's going to come down to... By the way, we didn't even talk about the blocked field goal in the Jets game. I feel terrible about it. Neither here nor there. Way to get up, big boys.
Special teams.
Yeah, special teams splash. That's actually the last point of the offense, because I'm going to give it to the offense here. We're going to put the special teams there. The special teams, almost a blocked extra point, but leveraging, kind of looked like it because he pushed the dude over. NFL says it wasn't. Whatever it was called. But we do block a kick later in the game because Greg Zerloin's having like the worst year of any kicker ever. The Steelers' splash defense has been going for a while now. It continues, Gingy. There's going to be a block kick in this game. Cash or trash?
Cash it in. It's going to be a punt. Is the block kick that I'm referring to.
Jamario Moon for number 2.
Woo. Let's see it.
All right. Gingy, closing thoughts on the offense against the Giants? The other New York team.
Which team are we talking about? Offense, closing thoughts.
Yes.
I don't know. On the Giants. Again, we talked about it in Cash and Trash. You're a funny guy, donkey. We're talking about really dominating the consistency up front. Najee Harris at 100 yards. I think the play develops around him. And I think despite all the shade thrown at Calvin Austin III and Van Jefferson, I think
they haven't even come out of the locker room.
Given the attention that George Pickens will be commanding henceforth, it'll give them an opportunity to shine.
Henceforth, what the hell? Are we writing a research paper here?
Russell find him. All right, he's dangerous.
Oh, you punny. You fucking punny. All right, dude.
I just mic dropped. Move on.
All right. The cash or trash for the offensive phrase is simple. Russ Wilson plays a clean game because the Giants don't force turnovers. I mean, 1 interception on the year. The running game does well enough. The defense, well, Danny Dimes sets us up. And the Steelers get to have the explosion, Gingy. 3rd straight game over 30 points. That's how I see it going. Clean sheet on offense, 30 points. Cash or trash that take?
Clean sheet. No 30. Slightly under. You'll find out soon.
All right, defense. First off, we're starting here. TJ Watt ends this game as the NFL leader in sacks. I'm just kidding. TJ Watt has 2 or more sacks in this game, Gingy. Cash or trash?
Cash me in for 3 on TJ this week. He is going to feel the burn on Monday night.
I like it. All right. It's obligatory. Actually, we're going to end with the obligatory one. So we'll go to number 2. The Giants' run game has about 400 or 500 yards on the season. They don't really eclipse 100 yards. The Steelers hold them under 70 yards rushing. Cash or trash?
Cash that in. Big shutdown. Massive wins up front.
The three-headed that'd be nice to see. He has been struggling a little bit this year. The three-headed monster the Giants bring in, and Nabber, Slayton, and Robinson are all held under 50 yards. Cash or trash?
Collectively or individually?
Individually.
What am I thinking? Trash either way. I think somebody gets it. One of those three gets over 50. I don't know if they eclipse 100. I think they get over 50, though.
The tight ends in the Giants system have not been very good this year, Gingy. But this week, they, in fact, break 60 yards combined by the tight end group for the New York Giants. Cash or trash?
Trap pick. Right? Because you threw in there about the overall production, right? But we know what happens with the tight ends and Steelers. Cash it in anyway. I'm hyped after a big dub. Let's see them get shut down too.
Let's go. All right, that was, man, I did them out of order now, so I got to re-look at my sheet. But I believe we're on to the last one.
The obligatory.
We're on the last one. Obligatory. Here we go. Minka Fitzpatrick finally gets a freaking turnover this week. Cash or trash?
Trash until proven otherwise. It's a safe bet, donkey. It's a safe bet.
At this point, you're not wrong. Gingy, go ahead on closing thoughts on defense.
Reigniting of the pass rush up front eliminates all the yard totals that I just cashed or trashed in back there. That's my closing thoughts on defense. The reemergence of Blitzburg, Sac City.
I hear you, Gingy, but I personally don't think the Steelers' pass rush really dominates again. I think they get to the 2-sack mark this time. I don't think the Giants can run the ball because the Giants just don't really run the ball well. They'll probably get about 60 yards at about 4 yards a carry, but they'll have to give it up. I think they get a quick start because that seems to be the way against the Steelers. I think they get shut down in the second half. I feel the Giants are held in the teens. Don't know where. Somewhere in the teens is where they're going to get held, and I think the Steelers force 3 turnovers. Cash or trash, the take on the defense?
I want more pass rush, but I'll take 3 turnovers.
Fair. So, Gingy, that means, well, I guess it's about time to get the picks, but before we do that, do you have any NFL stories that really caught your eye this week?
Yeah, I think we talked about a little bit. Tua, that's a baller right there. No, I think I'm pretty content. I'm still riding on the Sunday night win, get an extra night to prepare for the Monday night feast, hopefully.
Yep. Madden was wrong last week, so they have fallen to 5-2 in Steelers pick. They picked the Steelers to win 28-20 this week. Gingy, you and me had a perfect week last week, adding to the records out there. So that gets it going. That puts Gingy up to, what is that?
20-7?
3-0, so I think it's 19.
19? Okay.
19-7, because there's only 3 games, because we had a team playing
big dubs.
Big dubs. Yeah.
19-7. Big dubs.
I'm up to 17-9. You're 5-2 in Steelers games, just like the Steelers. What a big surprise there. I am 4-3. Lasker's had what did he have? A 1-2 week, which drops him to 9-17. He's the opposite of me, or opposite of you.
Yeah.
No, opposite of me. And 1-6 in Steelers games. We have some more fun going on this week. I'll do the picks the way Lasker's texted them to me, so I don't get overly confused. All right. So his first pick was the Bengals over the Eagles. Gingy, who'd you like in Cincy playing Philly?
This is a tough one. In Cincy playing Philly. Give me the Eagles.
I'm with Laskers here. I think Cincy wins this game. They just seem to have that little winning vibe going right now. He likes the Ravens over the Browns. Is that really even a pick with I'm sorry to say it, but am I upset that Massage Watson got hurt and the Browns fans cheered for him in their big toilet bowl? No. And I have to give a special shout out here. So I was talking about it, and my wife said that she heard rumors about the Browns doing a new stadium. I don't know anything about that. Maybe it's true. And I go, man, they should add a handle to it. And my son Jordy goes, that'd be like a toilet bowl. And I just lost it, dude. Little 7-year-old had no idea what he was saying, but he knows the Browns should have a flusher on their stadium.
I mean, the Browns. I would see why a 7-year-old could lend itself to think that, right? The name, donkey.
It was great.
It's Brown, it's down.
It made me happy. Do you like the Ravens over the Browns? Because I certainly do.
Yeah, clearly.
All right, and that brings us to the Steelers at the the Giants at the Steelers Monday night. Going to have some fun. Laskers likes the Steelers 28-15 with Najee as an X factor with 2 touchdowns. Gingy, he thinks he's getting it twice. What are you feeling here, Gingy?
Feed the Naj. Gingy's going Steelers 27-17. Give me an X factor of Pat Freiermuth. Tight end is going to come in this week. One big tut in the red zone. Couple key possession catches on third down. And that's the difference in a 10-point game.
I think the Steelers win this one pretty handily, 30-18. And I think your X factor has to be. Actually, I don't even know who I want to go here. I had a good idea. You know, Alex Highsmith is the guy I think is going to be the X factor. I think he's going to have a sack and an interception this week. All right.
Wow. Okay.
All that attention being paid to TJ, someone on that defense outside of him needs to step it up for the pass rush. That's what I'm feeling here. Gingy, it's a shout-out segment now. I have 2, so I'll let you go first because there's no way you can take them both.
That's fine. I'm probably going to take one because I know he's been pretty much your boy since freaking training camp. But when you see
baby.
Beanie Bishop Jr. take a Hall of Famer almost to the house, boy, I wish he would have taken it all the way to the house. Man. Yeah, seriously. But 2 interceptions, game changing, scored on both possessions. Mm-hmm. Give the shout out to Beanie Bishop. You know I love them splash plays, donkey. Who you got?
By the way, really hard for me for the whole time. This is a West Virginia kid, right? Man, I've been hyping up a West Virginia kid the whole time. But I get a double shout out because I kind of did it during the bug cap. But Gingy, the Pitt Panthers had 3 pick sixes in the first half against the Syracuse Orange on Thursday. 3 in the first half. That's the energy the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to bring to Monday Night Football, just so we're clear, just so everybody knows. All right?
You have the nerve to refer to me as a Yinzer homer. Okay.
Hey, all I'm saying, Steelers bringing that defensive energy that the Panthers showed at Acrisure Stadium on Thursday. We're going to see it again on Monday. But my shout-out goes to last Sunday. Welcome here, Russ Wilson. I still have my questions, but I'll tell you something. You do throw a pretty catchable deep ball, even if the rest of the game looks a little scattered, hit or miss. 30 points in your debut as a Steeler. Can't complain at that at all, Gingy.
Let's keep it up.
What's he trying to say now? Let's go for 7. What the hell's his stupid catchphrase for the Steelers? I know someone told me it, but I don't remember it.
I haven't heard that yet. I need to do some research. I'll have it ready. I'll have it keyed up next week for sure.
Perfect. I guess that's time. I gotta let you know I'm the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey at Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose Donkey Ginger is where you get all this fun content. We keep it real. We keep it going. I know I might have sounded a little more Debbie Downer, but that's because I'm trying to not let my hope go out of the building, Gingy, after the last 2 weeks. 30 points with the backup quarterback, 30 points with the alleged starting quarterback. A defense that's held teams to 10 points. I understand that both those teams suck. But, man, I have to say these things and point out the things I see because otherwise my hype would be the way it was when we played the Browns in the playoffs, and I don't want to get there yet, Gingy, but let them know.
You and Gingy in the house. Donkey, it's okay. We can talk about your Browns trauma later. Hanging out, we talking football, we riding high off a big Steelers dub, coming back on Monday night. Here we go, Steelers. Folks, wave them if you got them.